Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? Hello, 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 hello. Hello, J. Patrick. How are you? Hello. Good evening. If you can hear me, please give me some hands up so that way I can know that you're able to hear me. Hello. Hey, Tam. Hi, Sylvia Turner. Hello, everyone. If you could please go ahead and share this scope with all of your followers. Hey, with those that's on Facebook as well as Twitter. I'll begin with the part 2, how my goodbye saved my life. Last week I talked about my journey to ANWA. Today I am going to talk about my journey in ANWA when I first came there, and just how I was able to get acclimated and so forth. So if you can please go ahead and start sharing, that'll be perfect. It is a blessing to be in the midst of each and every one of you. Keep in mind, if you want to sow seed on today, please do so by giving a lot of hearts on today. I believe I'm almost at the 5 million mark. So thank you so much for every heart that you have sown thus far. Let's get started. As you heard me on last week, that how my goodbye saved my life, and how I was a part of a ministry for 9.5 years, and on the latter part I went on a journey with God with fasting and prayer, because I knew that I needed more, and that I had capped out in the place where I was at, and that there was a void that only God can fulfill. And he began to take me on this journey, and I ended up in ANWA. But I would love to tell you that that journey was easy when I got there, when it really wasn't, because I was so used to being a part of a church for 9.5 years. I was amongst people that did not look like me, they didn't sound like me, they didn't dress like me, and I was consumed by the outward appearance versus what was on the inside. And so when I got there, I still felt like a fish out of water, and to be honest, I was really still angry with God, because I didn't understand, why did I have to leave a place where I have sown seeds of my time, treasure, as well as my gift, and I had to leave a place of people whom I love, who I fast with, prayed with, people that I had grown in ministry with, and now I have to go into a new place like a child who parent has rooted her up out of her old community and taken her out of her school where she knew everyone, to go to a new community and go into a new place where everyone was not familiar with me and I'm not familiar with them, and now I feel like I'm out of place. And so I went into All Nations, and I knew God called me there, but I was still angry with God, because I didn't understand, how could I be so hurt when I came into the church? I was broken, I was depressed, I was suicidal, and this is the place where I was healed at, and a place where I received my deliverance at, a place where I learned about him, and a place where I sat under a shepherd and who helped cultivate my gifts and so forth up until the point when I left. But how could I leave? You send me on a journey of a place where I came in broken, and now at the end of my journey at this place, I'm broken again, I'm hurt again, I'm angry again, I'm feeling depressed again, I'm even becoming bitter, and I can feel a sense of unforgiveness trying to root itself in my heart. How could this happen to me after all that I have sown in this place of my time, my talent, my treasure? I have built relationships in this place. I started off with 6, 7 friends, and now I only leave with 1. And then I leave, and who's supposed to pastor me at the end of this journey? No one reached out to me. With pastors, even though you got pastors within a church, you got your shepherd, you got the overseer, but there are also pastors in the church. And who's going to come and reach out to me and see if I'm okay? And you know, once you get hurt, your spouse get hurt, those who are connected to you get hurt, your friends get hurt, but most of all, even your children are hurt by what goes on with you in a place where you are considered now damaged good and an outcast. How could this happen, God? How could you allow such pain to enter into my heart again, into my life again? What about me? What about my children? What about my husband? What about my best friend, who now is affected by this and now does not want to be a part of a church anymore? So she she backslides. What about this, God? And so I was still angry, although I knew he sent me here. But what about me? What about my heart? How am I going to get past this mark? I took the risk. I went by faith. I go and I sit, but I'm bitter now. And now I got unforgiveness happening in my life. A place where I know that it cuts off my communication, but I'm angry because I don't quite understand what is really going on in my life, because I'm not sober enough to hear your perspectives and see your view on this thing. And now I want to pray, but a part of me don't want to pray, because it seems like when I pray, you answer, but look at me now, God. I'm damaged. I'm hurt. And so I get into All Nations, and Apostle always teach by series. And when I come into All Nations, he began to teach on the series, part 1, help, I've been hurt by the church. Now, God is really funny. And so I get in here, and he's teaching on the church and my perspectives and how we see things, and how we blame the entire church for what happened to us at the hand of another person. That is not about the entire community. This damage that I experienced, or this hurt that I experienced, didn't come from everybody inside the church. It came from an individual. It came from a person or persons, but it wasn't the church. It was people. And so when he began to teach on this and began to show me that I needed to see things from a different perspective, and that I needed to see how God is still working in my life, and that this journey is not in vain, I was like, what in the world is going on here? And when he began to teach it, tears began to roll from my eye, and I cried through the whole message. And then I come back, he's teaching on part 2. I'm like, this thing is never going to end. Next thing I know, I'm on the floor, and I'm just crying, and I'm bawling, and I'm still not understanding. These people don't know me, but yet every time I came through the door, they was loving, and they always reached out to me. But a piece of me kept saying, I don't care how much you reach out to me. I didn't come here to make any friends. I didn't come here to get to know the pastor. I just want to be healed without being involved with people, because I felt like people hurt me on my journey with God. So I don't want to be friends with anyone. I don't want to build any relationships. And no, I don't want to trust the leader anymore, because the last leader that I trust, I felt like you betrayed me. So there's a possibility that this new person is going to betray me. So I built up these walls, and I had inner vows that said, I will not trust anybody in this church. I didn't come to make friends. He can't even get the benediction out quick enough for me to hit the door and be at the stop sign before he can open the doors of the church. I'm almost at home, because I don't want to make any contact with anyone. I don't want to build with anyone. I don't want anyone to know my fears, my hurts. I don't want to be transparent. None of these things I want. Only thing I want is God. But how do you know that you cannot love God and not love your neighbor? The two is not going to work. You must, when you love God, you have to also love your neighbors. And when you come into a new community, you also have to learn how to build. You learn about the vision of the house, and you must adjust yourself. I didn't come in arriving saying I came here because God sent me, and God sent me to help build. I came broken. I came with a contrite spirit. I came humble. And even in anger, God began to heal me by the messages. I didn't announce that I was a prophet. I didn't announce that I was a leader at my old church. I didn't announce that I come to help and build. I didn't announce that I was an intercessor. I came and set my tail down in the back, and I began to learn the culture of the house, and I began to see the vision of the house. Did I get healed overnight? No, I did not. I still had to go on a journey with God, with much prayer and with much fasting. And I began to talk to God about my fears and these inner vows that I had made in my heart. And although I was trying to hide in the back, it always appeared that God was still doing something in my life, because Apostle would call me out every time. When my mother said, hey, he's having a outing, and I would like for you to travel with me to the outing. I was like, no, because the last time I was under a leader, I supported all the outings, and look what happened to me. See, bitter. I was still bitter. And so when she kept begging me, come on, just go with me, just be with me, just drive with me, and just be the person that I just have in the car, and you don't have to do nothing. You don't have to say nothing. Just go and support me then. I'm like, I don't want to drive all the way to Indiana to go support a man of God because he got a speaking engagement. We done that already. We did it for 9.5 years. I'm not trying to do that. I'm going home. And she was like, no, I think you should go with me. I go with him, and he opens up his message, and then he just stopped in the middle of it and says, yeah, Kisha. And I'm like, Kisha, what Kisha? What Kisha he's talking about? I don't know this man. It gotta be another Kisha in here. He's like, oh yeah, you're gonna help me work the altar. I'm like, I'm not helping. Look, my eyes was bugged, but my heart was saying, I'm not helping you do nothing. I don't know you. You don't tell me that I got to help you work the altar. I work the altar, pray. Who told you I know how to pray? And so I'm like, I haven't even had a conversation with this man for him to tell me that I have to work this altar and pray. He'll see. And then my friend was like, oh, yeah. He got his eyes on you. And I was like, who told him my name? And I asked my mom, did you tell him my name? And she was like, no, I didn't tell him your name. I haven't had a conversation with this man. So he makes me get up and at the end of his sermon, and he calls an altar call. And then I'm like, okay, you all grab heads and stuff. I'm not used to that. At my old church, we just stood there and we prayed and we sent you on your way. We didn't lay our hands on you. We didn't roll with you. We didn't do none of these things that you all are doing. So I don't know how to do this. So I felt uncomfortable. But what I really was saying, I was insecure because I didn't know how to work the altar, because I didn't have proper training on what to do at the altar. And I couldn't communicate that because I didn't ask to come up here in the first place. And so we get back, and the next Sunday, he'll call another altar call. And I'm like, this is the most altar calling church I ever seen in my entire life. How many altar calls do you all need in 1 month? So I'm like, okay, he does altar call. And then one day he just calls me up and dropped the mic in my hand. I'm like, why is this mic in my hand, and what am I supposed to do with this mic? And then he said, you are to pray. And I'm like, okay. He said, while you're praying, we're going to cast out demons, and we're going to lay hands on the sick, and we will prophesy, and while you praying, this is what we'll do. And I'm like, no, I don't think I'm qualified for this. I don't want to do this. But I did it out of obedience. So I waited to the end of the service, and I marched my little self down to his office, and I came busting through the door like a mad woman and said, why are you picking on me? And he said, excuse me? And I said, I feel like you're picking on me, and I don't know why you're picking on me. You keep dropping mics in my hand. You keep calling me up to pray. You don't know me. I don't understand what's going on. And he said, do you not see that I see something great inside of you? Is it that you don't know what's inside of you? You don't see your greatness? And I was like, what? You see greatness? I'm damaged good. What? Greatness? And he's like, yes, I see greatness in you. My job as a spiritual father is to cultivate you, to nurture you, to love you, to train you. And I was like, I don't understand this language. I'm not used to anybody talking to me like that. Matter of fact, I think this is a little off, but okay. So I walks out of his office, and I'm perplexed by what he's saying because I never heard anyone communicate the greatness that they see about me. So I'm like, okay, but not to fast forward, to rewind, before he started doing that, Apostle K called me. No, let's go to this. Here's a funny one. Before that, my mother and husband was called into a meeting with Apostle Matthew Stevenson and a panel of his leaders. And she received an email saying, come to this meeting. So she said, hey, Apostle is inviting us to a meeting, and he told us to come. And I said, okay, did he have the Moore family and Cephus family on it, or did he just have the Moore family? And she was like, oh, it had Moore, but you're part of the family. I said, no, he said Moore. And if he wanted Cephus to be a part, he should have put Cephus a part of that. I told you, don't go in there. When you go to that meeting, don't mention me or my husband, and don't mention my gifts, and don't mention nothing about me, because I don't know those people, and I don't want those people to know me. That's how I address them, as people, not pastor, as people. And she said, what? You're not going to this meeting? I think this meeting is for all of us. I said, don't mention us. we're Cephus, okay? The mean girl came out. The hurt girl came out. The bitter girl came out. I'm like, don't do that. Now, respect my wishes. And she was like, all right. So she went to the meeting. She said, Apostle asked, when she came out, Apostle asked, why you and your husband didn't come to the meeting? I said, because we wasn't invited to the meeting. So, they said, okay, we'll fix you. We're going to send you a email now inviting you to a meeting. I'm like, these people, they don't know boundaries in this place. So they send an email inviting us to the place. And here's the kicker. We joined the church in June, the last Sunday of June of 2010. We receive an email sometime in like August in regards to Apostle wants to put us in leadership training with him at Roosevelt University for 6 months because God showed him that I am supposed to be ordained as a prophet. Now, who told him that? I said, I was screaming on the inside. And I said, I don't want to be ordained as a prophet. Why is this happening to me? I just want to sit in the back of the church for 1 year. If God can give me 1 year to heal, then I will sit back in the church and heal. But how do you know when God has his hand on you? I don't care how you try to run or how you try to hide. If you come humble, some people don't want to leave churches because they've been ordained already, or they've been promised an ordination, or they have some type of position in the church. But I'm telling you, if you in a place that you know you're part of an old system, a corrupt system, some jacked up relationships, it's okay to say goodbye. Because when God's hand is upon your life, I don't care how you hide in your new place or how people tell you you got to start over. God will find you right where you at and put you right in the position where he want you to be in. So it doesn't matter about whether if they promise you an ordination or if you got an ordination certificate. I'm telling you, don't let Jezebel hold you to a system and control you by a piece of paper. Every perfect gift comes from God. He is the gift giver, and you got to love him more than your position and more than your gift. I was found in the back of a church. I came in June of 2010. I was ordained as a prophet in 2011 of July. So don't tell me that you will have to start all over. Learn the culture of a new place. Go on a journey with God. When he send you to that new place, get your butt in a seat and learn the culture. Some things you're going to have to unlearn, and some things you're going to be retaught. If they tell you to take new members, take it. If you got to take foundations, take it. But whatever is required of you, you get there and you humble yourself. And don't be worried or moved whether if a person will recognize your gift. Don't come and make an announcement, because God will announce your arrival. I'm telling you, he did it to me. And as though I was damaged and jacked up, so I thought, needing much deliverance, and did not want anybody to know about me being a prophet or an intercessor, God revealed me in that place, and he put me in a 6-month training that was extensive, and I thought I was going to die in that training, but it was good for me. And I began to see God from his point of view and not my own. And the moment that I sober up, I said, God, it was good that I was afflicted, that I may learn of your statutes and your command, that I may understand to never put a person in a place that you shall always reside. It was good, God, that you crushed me on this journey, that I know how to be moved to compassion and show empathy to somebody else. It was good, God, because it strengthened me in my relationship with you, and it strengthened my relationship with others. Thank you for taking me to a place where I can learn of you and not be mad at you and angry at you and angry at my journey. It was good because out of it came greatness, out of it came strength, out of it came power. And then on this journey, I tapped into a person that I never knew. Thank you for taking me on a journey. It was good that I said goodbye, that I may live and not die, because I wanted to be a part of an old system, part of an old place, part of old relationships. It was good that I was left with one friend, that at the end of my journey to the new place in 1 year, I was able to convince her that she can come back to God and not be betrayed or be hurt, and that she was able to give her life back to God, a backslider whom God still loved and was married to. It was good that I was able to go through this, and then you set me in a place and you gave me authority and you gave me power that I didn't have to go and announce myself. You did that for me. So God, I said, thank you. So if you are one of those people that is stuck in that system, I tell you, go on a journey with God. Pray, fast, hear his voice, sit still, quiet yourself, see what he's saying, get your set of instructions, believe God, walk by faith, not by sight. Don't be moved by men's opinion, be moved by God's opinion, and don't put your confidence in a man, put your confidence and a trust in God. And I'm telling you, he will never fail, he'll never disappoint. Everything that he promised is still yes and amen. He's not a covenant breaker. Don't compare him to a man, because he's not the same. And even when it hurt, he's still in the midst of it, according to Romans 8, that all things are still working for your good. And I promise you, nothing will be able to separate you from the love of God. It's not about a place. It's about your relationship with the Father. Do you know how many people are more acquainted with their gift than the one that gave them the gift? And the reason why a lot of people stay in these old places, drying up, because they're afraid that they will have to start over. But the beautiful part about that picture, it's good to start over sometimes. You can gain so much strength in a new place. And I'm telling you, if God said it, you better move it. If he justified you and qualified you, his hand is still upon your life, you can still grow in a new place. Don't let what you see on the out appearance of a new people that God is trying to get you to versus the power that God is demonstrating in the people. Don't be like those during the times of Micah, who was concerned about the beautification and the outer appearance of a place, and the people were jacked up inside of their soul. I'm telling you that if you go on a journey with God and you know God has told you to leave a place, leave a relationship, leave a job, whatever it is that he's trying to get you to leave, to cause you to prosper, to cause you to grow, you better do it, because obedience is better than sacrifice. God is not a liar. And once I learned this, you promised me, God, that's enough to take me right on to where I need to be. You promised me, God. You promised me, if I seek ye first the kingdom of God and your righteousness, that you will add all things to me. You promised me, God, according to Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14. If I heed and obey all of your commands, you will do this for me. You will bring me in and you'll bring me out with blessings. You will cause your heavens to be open upon me, which is your treasure, to rain upon my seed and cause me to produce a harvest. You promise that you will bless me going in, coming out. You'll bless the works of my hand, the fruit of my field. You promise me, God, that all these things that you have said about me is still yes and amen. God, you made promises to me, and I'm standing on those promises. And if you tell me to transition out of a place to a new place, and if I obey you, you will accelerate me quickly, I stand on your promises, because you told me that I can put you back in remembrance of your word, and you're not a liar. If you said it, you will perform it. And those are the promises that I stand on. It wasn't about me being in a relationship with some people. It was about my relationship with the Father. Heal me from this anger. Heal me from this bitterness. Heal me from a people and place that I felt like betrayed me. Heal me, God, so I'll be able to teach, preach, prophesy, and pray somebody else through the very same thing that you brought me through. But I can't do it until you heal me, God. And I can stand today and say that I'm healed. And I thank God that I was able to hear his voice by way of prayer and fasting and transition out of an old place to a new place. Do I despise the place that I came from? No, that is my foundation. I don't despise it. I thank God for it. And when Apostle set me in the office of a prophet, he came back and said to me, and you will have to pray for those that you was among and be moved with mercy. And I said in my heart, the devil is a liar. But now I can truly say I can pray without any issues in my heart. I can see him on the street and I won't feel a thing but love, because at the end of the day, God doesn't love me no more than they love him, no more than he loves them. So yes, I can pray for them. I can still stand in the gap for them. I don't have to be in a whole relationship with them and be a part of the church and keep visiting. No, I don't have to do that. But yet I still got to stand in the gap for a people. Why? That they may not be destroyed in this land. It is my sole duty to stand in the gap. It doesn't, even Abraham was able to stand in the gap for the wicked, those in Sodom and Gomorrah. He couldn't be moved by their wickedness. Why? Because God have to show you how to still be selfless and that he still loves the wicked. So it doesn't matter how you've been hurt. It doesn't matter what damage was caused to you during the time that you hurt. Only thing that should matter is that God can still heal you, and God can take you to a place that you've never been before in him. And that is a powerful thing to have in your life. So your goodbye can save your life. Say goodbye. Say goodbye to anything that God told you is no more good for you. Say goodbye to old systems. Say goodbye to old friends. If they are no longer being a friend, you remove yourself from that situation. You don't have to be verbally abused. You don't have to be financially abused, and you do not have to be mentally abused, physically abused, or spiritually abused. It is not God for you to go through all those things. But if you're in the midst of it, he still has a plan, and it will still work for your good. Say goodbye. It takes courage to do it, and I'm not going to tell you that it's easy, but if you follow God, he will not disappoint you, neither will he bring you to shame. And guess what? You will be acquainted with them demons that you are able to overcome, and you yourself will have authority over it. So let today be a day that you say goodbye to anything that God has already told you to get rid of. Bye. With no regrets, with no apologies, with no excuses, and no explanation. If you have to turn away and say bye, nobody accepts that the same way they said to me that I was going to have to start over, and it's not your time, and you're going to be cursed with a curse because you're no longer living under us. Some of that stuff will start manifesting, and you'll think at your new place, I should go back. The devil is a liar. Those are curses. And the same way some authority figure spoke that over that, you need somebody with the same authority or greater to break it up off of you. And I promise you, God would do that. Everything that they said, I'm a witch, I'm not going to prosper, my children not going to prosper, break up my marriage, I'm not going to grow in my gift. Look at me now. God is faithful to his people. He's not a liar. If he called you, he has ordained you and set you, he is going to set you up well. I promise you. He's faithful to me. Did I face some hardships? Yes, I did. But it was already in the plan. And I overcame it. Did my children end up having children outside of wedlock? Yes, they did. But they overcame it. And they still love God. How about that? And they still love him. Am I still with my husband? Yes, I am. Even though they tried to destroy it in 2010, we're in 2016. He still loved God. I still love God. How about that? So God is faithful. Say goodbye. It's okay. That's my message for today. If you got something out of it, give me some hands up. Love you guys. Yes, you will be an overcomer, victorious, triumphant. Give me some hands up. A lot of you inbox me saying how you're still stuck and waiting for God to tell you to leave when he told you to leave the first time and you chose to stay. The devil is a liar. Don't be a double-minded man. Have a single mind. That should be the mind of Christ. You shouldn't be still stuck in a place where God already told you to leave. You behind time. Get your butt where he told you to be. That's where you need to go. Don't miss the move. Catch up with his speed and his rhythm and his timing on that word. And I promise you, he'll start redeeming the time, and he'll restore you, and he'll cause all things to become new. It will hurt, but you will heal. I promise you. It'll hurt, but you will heal. Don't grieve over it too long. It's okay to grieve, but don't stay there. Don't stay there. Amen. Yeah, you can catch the replay. All right, that is my message for today. Keep in mind that corporate prayer on Tuesday is canceled for the month of December. We'll be back in the month of January. Also, you can catch me again next Friday at 3. No, I won't be coming on next Friday because I'll be at a leadership retreat for a few days, and I won't be back until after Saturday. So it'll be in a couple of weeks I'll come back on, or if I get a little time in between, I'll try to catch up on Friday with you guys. Also keep in mind, tonight Dr. Mary Crum is going to be with us at All Nations Worship Assembly at 7:30 for a night of impartation, and it'll also be a fire line, which means that everyone will receive an impartation. She'll also be with us on tomorrow, and I believe that is also open, but you can go to allnationswa.com for more information in regards of tonight's event, as well as the fire conference for 2017. You can also download the All Nations Chicago app for registration and guest speakers. Also, I want to pitch about my good buddy Tiffany Montgomery, who is going to have a conference in January. Please look her up in regards to the Millions Conference. And last but not least, get your book if you have not, for the Pray That Through manual on prayer. It'll teach you about personal prayer. It'll take you on a journey of your soul. It'll also teach you about corporate prayer. We got prayer directives in here, examples of prayer directives, the examples of a scribe. We also got information in regards to prophetic intercession, and as well as fasting and prayer. So get your copy today at praythatthrough.com. This manual is $15. If you already have the manual and you want to invest in someone else, please do so. And that's praythatthrough.com, and this manual is $15. It talks about personal prayer, prayer as a lifestyle, the importance of prayer, the watchman. You got corporate prayer in here. You got the different types of prayer. You have in regards to the different types of fast, because people sometimes don't tend to fast, but that is a powerful tool as well in regards to fasting. So get your copy today, and I'll see you guys hopefully on next Friday. If not, it'll be the Friday after. And if you can, if you're in the Chicagoland, please come out tonight at 7:30 to hear Dr. Mary Crum in regards to prophetic impartation and the fire line for everyone to go ahead and get this book. Go ahead, get this book today. This is me. Look what came out of it when I left the old place and the old system. A whole manual about my life. This thing I live each and every day. Love you guys. Bye.